All right, hey y'all. Before we get ready to take our test on Wednesday, this is due on Wednesday, but we're going to be talking about distance on a coordinate plane using the Pythagorean theorem. So, without further ado, let's get started on your homework. All right, so we know that the Pythagorean theorem says that a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So it says for questions 1 through 4, find the distance between points A and B. Round your solutions to the nearest tenth when necessary. So a calculator will be appropriate for use. And let's get to it. So with this, you can either draw your legs going down and to the right, and then connecting the diagonal that way. Or, I'm going to use another color, you can go to the right and then down. Either way, you're going to have the same diagonal and the same measure of the short leg as you would the long leg. So the short leg measures 1, 2, 3, 4 units. The long leg measures 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units. All right, so I'm going to square 4. And I'm going to add that to the square of 8. And I'm going to get c squared. Why? Because a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So then I'll do 16 plus 64 equals c squared. And then I'll do 80, because 64 plus 16 is 80, equals c squared. And I will square root both sides to get c. And it's going to be an approximated number because it says it needs to be rounded to the nearest tenth. All right, so for number 2, and once you put this answer in Skyward, you're literally just going to put the digit, decimal, and the digit. And that's something 0 through 9 here and 0 through 9 here. Okay. For number 2, I'm going to draw my short leg and then my long leg and connect them. Then I will count the units from 2 to 9, that's 7 units. And from 3 to 5, that's 2 units. That's another way I can figure out how far apart or how long the legs are. And then I'll Pythagorean theorem. So 2 squared plus 7 squared equals c squared. 2 squared is 4. 7 squared is 49. C squared is 49 plus 4, 53. And then radical. C is approximately equal to something point something. All right, number 3. This one does not give you the points. You must plot them. So you run 3 and you jump 6. And then you run 16 and you jump 16. Make one leg, make the other, connect them diagonally. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Or I know that from 3 to 16 is 13 units. And from 6 to 16 is also, nope, it's 10 units. Okay, so this is 10 and this is 13. So I'll do 10 squared plus 13 squared equals c squared. And over here, you're going to do the same thing. So I run 7, jump 17, whoop, right there. And I run 19 and I jump 2. If your triangle does not go in the same direction as mine, that is fine. This is one way to make it, and then connect the diagonals. So from 7 to 19, that's 12. And from 17 to 2, that's 15. Then down here it says find the perimeter of the trapezoid. Again, you're going to use 12 squared plus 15 squared equals c squared to find c. Okay? So find the perimeter of the trapezoid. I need to make a right triangle here for this diagonal side. For perimeter, I must add all sides. Okay? So I need this side plus this side, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is 4. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I stop here because this is 3. And this is important because this is a triangle, right triangle, boop, right there. Do you see it? So I'm going to bring that right triangle on out. And I'm going to say that this is 3, this is 4. This is a special right triangle that we've already talked about in class. You guys should know what C is, but if you don't, do the math to figure it out. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. 3 squared plus 4 squared equals C squared. And then 3 is 9, or sorry, 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 16. And then you'll do the rest, and once you get the answer here, you'll find the square root of both, and C will be a whole number. Okay? So then once you find that, you're going to add this number here, 5, 4, 3, and 5 to get your total perimeter. This will be a whole number. Okay? No decimal necessary. But if you do the decimal, then I'll give you a hint. I think it's a 2-digit number. Yep. Digit, point, 0. So it's something, point, 0. Okay. All right. Number 6. So we are using the graph here to help us answer each question. Each unit on the graph represents, 3/4 of a mile. So I must round my answers to the nearest tenth when necessary. Big, important detail here. Each one is a quarter or 3/4 of a mile. These are not whole entire miles. So every time I calculate something, I must multiply it by 0.75. I must calculate that distance by 0.75. All right, so how many miles is the diagonal path from Jim's house to the mall? So Jim's house is at 1713 and the mall is at 81. So I'm going to diagonal down and over. All right, so from 8 to 17, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then from from 1 to 13, that's 12. Equals C squared. So I'm going to calculate C squared. So 9 squared is 81 plus 144 equals C squared. 144 plus 81 is 225. 5, 12, carry the 1. Yep. So then I'm going to square root 225. Oops. And that's going to give me 15. I'm going through this one with y'all so y'all can see what it looks like once you submit your work. So 15 is the distance. But now I've got to multiply this by 0.75. So that's the units. But this is the mileage. Okay? So then 15 times 0.75. I'm going to cheat and use my calculator, but I think it's 12. 15 times 0.75. Nope, it's 1125. 11¼ miles. It says round to the nearest tenth. Ooh. Let's follow the directions, and this will actually be 11.3. but I will accept both. So when you submit these in Skyward, I'll put both answers there and they'll both be acceptable. All right, so Jim, is Jim's house closer to the mall or the bank? So then let's draw Jim's house to the bank. All right, let's count the distance going along the x-axis. So the bank is at 2 and Jim's house is at 17, so this is 15. And then this side right here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. Oh, this is asking 2 questions. Is it closer to the mall or the bank, and how many miles closer is it? All right, so then we got to find the difference between this diagonal and this diagonal. So this is 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 5 to 13, yes. So I'm going to square 8 and 15. I'm going to get c squared. Then once I get this c, I'm going to take this c and I'm going to multiply by 0.75. Then I'm going to round it to the nearest tenth. Lots of pieces here. Then I'm going to find the difference between that and this question here, because this is the distance to the mall, and we want to know if his house is closer to the mall or the bank. And this will only be one question. Actually, no, this will be 2. So there'll be a 7A, which is it closer to, bank or mall. And then 7B is going to be a number. All right, number 8. Jim is at his house and his car has 25 miles until it runs out of gas. Would Jim be able to make it from his house to the grocery store and back without stopping for gas? So let's go to his house, house to grocery store, draw a line. All right, so this is not 15. This is actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is 5. And all right, 12 over here. Kind of weird, getting a little mixed up. All right, so 5 squared plus 12 squared equals c squared. So I'm going to work through this one and show you how it's done. So this is 25 plus 144 equals c squared. C squared equals 169. Radical, c is 13. So we want him to go there and back. So 13 is there plus 13 is back. Will he have enough gas? Yes or no. He only can go 25 miles. You tell me. Jim left his house and drove to the bank. On his way back home, Jim's wife called when he was exactly halfway home. How many total miles had Jim traveled when his wife called? Oh, time out. Go back here. Go back here. I'm sorry. I was wrong. I forgot. I need to multiply this by 0.75. So multiply this by 0.75. And then will this be greater than or equal to 25? Very important part there. Glad I remembered. Again, still multiplying each unit by 0.75. And I'm going to finish 9 and 10 on the next video.